Greetings everyone, Anthony Davis coming to you live today. I want to do a video about the role of the spiritual leaders in the community. Alright, just a few different archetypes of these type of roles, just so people who need this information can get more of a broader aspect of the different type of role plays, variations that we have in the service community, okay? So let's talk about the role of the priest or the priestess, okay? So basically when you talk about like a priest or priestess, and of course all these are just titles. They don't ultimately define you. They're just language. They're labels, you know? So people could live up to that label, right? Or you can live under that label, you know? So those type of things. So basically when we talk about the role of a priest or a priestess, you know, they have like a certain type of image and responsibility to the community. You know, now some people, you could be a priest and priest, and that doesn't mean that, you know, you're better than the next person or this type of thing. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're just holier than thou. But it is a certain type of power and a certain type of training that comes with the type of priest and priestess, depending on what type of role you're coming from. Because you could be a priest and priestess of, you know, the church, maybe religion, you know, more so along the lines of like a community activist or, you know, a protester, you know, that type of thing, or, you know, like a pastor or reverend. Those are also considered priest and priestess, right? Even though they mostly depending on the name. Once again, their titles, okay? But let's talk about more so geared towards the spiritual conscious community, okay? So when you talk about like the role of a priest or priestess, that person's role is a very important one because everyone needs somebody that they learn from, right? Personally and directly. Why? Because when you have a priest or priestess, you have what they call accountability. You have, you know, someone who, hey, you went to say, you know what, I want to learn about, you know, the crystals. I want to learn about, you know, different forms of healing. And I want to learn how to be, you know, take myself to the next level. So basically the role of that person is dealing with accountability. If you start to fall off, for example, that person is supposed to help bring you up, right? It's accountability is what we're looking for, and that motivation and that leadership aspect from this priest or priestess. You know, but what makes it so unique in our tradition, because there's multiple different paths that you can walk. So you can be a priest of different traditions in the spiritual African indigenous community. So that's good. You might find a priest of this tradition, priest of that tradition, priest and priestess of another tradition. And all of them have roles are to, you know, maintain and uphold and uplift that tradition. And since these are supposed to be an oral tradition, to pass down that tradition, you know, and there's different priests and priestesses of, you know, different, you know, deities in that tradition, right? So that's pretty big. And, you know, you could be an ancestor priest or priestess, you know, that's pretty big, you know. So these priests and priestesses has took years and years of training to get to a level to know that tradition and who can duplicate that tradition, right? And who can teach and delegate the responsibilities of what it takes to be a part of that tradition. You know, and even if you have any tradition, even if it's new age, it's still, you still a priest and priestess of the new age movement. You see, so there's many different forms of leadership. You see, even when you talk about like the healer, you know, the healer is still under that banner. You know, if people say, oh, I'm a healer. Yeah, okay, cool. They're all great banners. And you should most definitely have someone you can call who say, you know what, I need a healer, because you don't just wake up and, you know, all of a sudden you know everything. You have to learn certain things, especially if you haven't had no family, you know, that really taught you this type of stuff. You know, even me, I've had great leadership to this very day, to this moment. I can get on a horn with a priest or priestess from any tradition you can think of, because they have eldership. They have, you know, that comes with accountability. You know, they teach me and they show me these things, you know, because I haven't been around the last 50 years. You know, so I just really want to encourage everybody to, you know, be humble when it comes to these things, because it's not like you know it all, right? So basically, you just want to be humble. Find people that's around you in your area that you can build with. It's a communal thing. You know, it's not a priest and priestess is like a coach. It's like somebody who's like, you know what, I take the responsibility to do this, to go the extra mile in what we're doing. And that's okay. Everybody really is a priest and priestess. If you're coming into this tradition, if you're coming into this walk of life, you just need to be molded and grinded and sculpted into certain things to get the better you. And then you can teach your children and their children and other people's around you, because we need all the help we can get. So I see a lot of people that practice different systems but aren't stable in one. A lot of people learn this, learn this, learn this, and learn that, which is fine, but still haven't gotten anywhere. You see, so that's why it's good to have different people in your life that you can call upon, because you call on your ancestors, you call on, you know, the bank, you call on this job, you always call on government assistance. So it's like, why not have people you can call on that can help you with your spiritual life, who really cares about you? I'm not just saying just go find somebody on Google or anything, but it's people out here who are really passionate. And if you don't know nobody, get in contact with me, and I might know somebody in your area. Period, point blank. So that's all. Love y'all.